Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. So I saw this tier list for all of the different legendary augments in Tanki Online. Shout out to Musray for actually providing this tier list. But I thought I would go through and actually give a tier list ranking for all the legendary augments in the game. A lot of these I really don't remember, so I'll have to look them up while making the video, but I'll make sure to share the stats for all of the augments in the game so you guys know what they are as well. But I guess we'll just get started with the Excelsior augment for Shaft. Now obviously, Excelsior does an additional 30% critical damage and normal damage, so it's very, very good. Obviously, it's not overpowered. It is very good though. Like an additional 30% damage, especially if you're using Defender, it basically just takes the position of booster drone, so it's very, very nice, but it doesn't like take you over the top. Obviously, at the end of the day, again, it's good, but not the best in the game. Next is Shaft Camper. Now this one gives you a 100% damage boost, but only if you're over 90% of your health. So because of that reason, a lot of the camper augments, it'll give you a massive damage increase if you're over like 50% of your health. But mainly because Shaft Camper, you have to be over 90% of your health. It's just not that great. Maybe on long range maps, if you're very good at camping, it can be good, but in general, not amazing. Shaft Stellarator, I don't know. I feel like they're going to nerf it any second now because it's in the recent minigame, so a lot of people will be able to get it for free. I think I'll stick it at the top of the A tier only because I think it's going to probably get nerfed and it's relatively hard to use. And then if someone has shaft protection against it, it's very, very hard to use. So for that reason, I'm going to give it the A tier. And again, if you don't know what this augment does, you quick scope. It does the exact same damage as if you scoped fully as you do when you quick scope. So it does max damage for really low aiming down sight. Next is the Quasar augment for Shaft. This one gives you increased sniping damage when you ADS. Your arcade damage is 60% increased, and your critical damage is increased by 60%. It just takes a lot longer to shoot for scoping and normal arcade shots. I'll be honest, I don't use this one that much. Statistically, very, very good. I'm going to stick it in B just because I don't use it all that much. And then everyone for Shaft is using Stellarator, if I'm being honest. That and then Healing Shaft are probably the best for Shaft, but only because I barely see anyone using Quasar, I'll go ahead and put it in B. Next, Excelsior for Gauss. Probably same thing as Excelsior for Shaft. Very solid augment. Again, the Excelsior augments are very good, but they're not overpowered. You could probably argue that they're overpowered, especially at lower ranks, but in legend ranks, they're just very good. But if you pair it with something like a whole Excelsior, that's when it goes like over the top, because not only are you harder to kill now, but also you kill people a lot faster. Next is Camper for Gauss. This one's the same thing as Shaft. You have to be over 90% of your health to do the most amount of damage. And with Gauss, I'm a very aggressive player, so in my opinion, having to be over 90% health makes it a lot worse than a lot of the other camper augments in the game. Next, we have Boxer for Gauss. Relatively added, new, just basically increases the impact force from Gauss. This is a solid D augment right now. Unless they buffed the amount of impact force you can have with Gauss Boxer, it's just not very good. Not very good at all. Next is Gauss Nemesis. Your damage per shot is increased by 140%, but your aiming time massively increased, so it takes a lot longer. Honestly, my thing with Gauss Nemesis is I kind of just enjoy super solenoids more. It's still very good, but I'm going to put it in B. Next is Magnum Pulsar. This one's a solid C Pulsar augment. Because Magnum shoots very, very slow, you're not really able to take advantage of stunning the enemy and doing all the status effects, so that reason it's not that good. Next is Magnum Camper. Now, although this one is also the exact same as the other two camper augments, since Magnum you're able to hide behind objects while shooting, this takes it all the way up to basically A tier, I'd say. Only because Magnum players, if they're smart, they'll take no damage the entire game if they camp well, because again, you can damage people behind objects, so makes it a lot easier to actually get that damage increase and not take any damage ever. Next is Bombard for Magnum. Again, this is probably the first one I put in S tier, only because if you're very, very good with Magnum, or I guess it's called Destroyer. For some reason, I always called it Bombard. But it gives you an extra 120% damage if you hit close to the players. Obviously, your splash radius is decreased, so you have to be a lot more accurate with Magnum than you usually would. But since you get so much more damage, just in general, look at this, so much more damage. It's just like you can one-tap basically anyone using Magnum if you're good, which makes it super frustrating to go against. Next one is Pulsar for Railgun. Again, I'd probably similar to Magnum, to where you don't really get to take advantage of the Pulsar effect that much, but it is slightly better than Magnum Pulsar. Next is Railgun Camper. My gosh, there's so many augments in the game. Normal damage increased by 100% like all the other campers. You have to be over 90% of your health. I don't know. Probably the same thing as the other camper augments down here. Like, in order to get a shot off with Railgun, you have to peep out. You have to like peak out, meaning you're probably going to get damaged a little bit. So you're going to be below that 90% health threshold, and you're not going to be getting the full effect of camper, so I'm going to probably put it in C for that reason. Next is Excalibur for Railgun. Now this is also in the minigame, so it probably is also going to get nerfed, but again, it's very, very solid. One of the best augments for Railgun, to be honest. Probably a little bit worse than Stellarator, just because I enjoy Stellarator more, and people in general have Railgun protection like every single game. But your critical damage basically one-shots everyone, and you get your critical shots very frequently, so very, very good augment. Next, Pulsar for Scorpion. Pulsar for Scorpion's okay. It's just not that great in general. I'd probably put it a little bit worse than Railgun. And B tier is basically, it's just average. A tier, above average, decent augment. And then S tier obviously is broken augment. D tier, awful, awful augment. I would never use it ever. Next, Excelsior Thunder. Again, probably ranks with all the other Excelsior augments. Very solid augment in general. Much better than average augments. But again, there's nothing there that makes it so overpowered it takes it above the top. Next is Pulsar for Thunder. I'd honestly probably argue this is the best Pulsar augment with what we have here in the ranking so far. A very solid augment. Next, Camper for Thunder. Now, the last thing about this one is you only have to be above 75% of your health to get the 100% damage increase. So if you play a little bit more reserved, it's nice. But again, since there's damage drop off for Thunder in general, you kind of do have to play somewhat up, so your health is usually going to be going down constantly. So for that reason, it's by far better than any of the other camper augments in the C tier, but it's just kind of average, middle, B tier, I'd say. Next is the Bolter augment for Thunder. This one just lets you shoot very fast with Thunder, although your shot is super slow, but there's no damage increase. So although you get a bunch of Thunder shots off, Thunder is way too slow to be accurate with this thing. This thing is a solid C augment in my opinion, not very good. Next, Pulsar for Vulcan. Very solid Pulsar augment. Again, because you're getting your shots off so frequently, you can actually take advantage of the Pulsar effect. It's like Pulsar on Freeze or Firebird. By far the best versions of Pulsar. Next is Camper for Vulcan. Gives you 100% damage if you're above 75% health. I'd probably put it around Thunder Camper. It's solid, but again, 75% health threshold is kind of hard to stay above, so that's the reason it's going to go in B tier. Next is Striker Excelsior. Again, same as the other Excelsior augments, very solid. Pulsar for Striker. This one's a decent Pulsar augment, but again, these mid to long range turrets, not my favorite when it comes to Pulsar, just because you don't get to take advantage of the full Pulsar effect. Next, Camper for Striker. Probably one of the strongest camper augments in the game. I'd say better than all the Excelsior augments. You still do have to be above 75% health to get the max benefit of it, but Striker in general, you're able to play relatively sneaky with getting your shots off. A little bit more sneaky than I'd say what you can with Thunder, and that's why I think it's a little bit better than the other camper augments. Also have it on my main account, so I've used it more, so that's one of the main reasons I think it's better. Next is the Brass Knuckles augment. This augment basically allows you to get your salvo shots off a lot faster. I remember I thought it was very, very good when it first came out, but again, you just never really see anyone using this augment for Striker because Striker already has so many OP augments in the game. So for that reason, it's kind of like middle of the road, B tier, I'd say. Next, Excelsior for Smokey. Probably the best Excelsior augment in the game, in my opinion. Smokey is just so freaking good with Excelsior because Smokey in general, many people don't have protection against it. So many people don't really ever think Smokey's a really good turret. So you don't really see Smokey players all that much. But in my opinion, Smokey's probably the most underrated turret in Tanki Online just because no one really thinks about it. Therefore, no one really uses it. Next, Smokey Pulsar. Decent Pulsar augment. I'd probably put it bottom of A, maybe top of B here. Smokey Camper. Another very good camper augment. And the Smokey Camper is still 75% threshold. Once you get to the close range camper augments, I feel like it's very, very good at that point. But we'll rank those when we get to there. Ricochet Pulsar. I'd say at one point it was one of the best Pulsars in the game. Now it's just average. Again, Pulsar used to be very, very, very good, and now I'd say it's just slightly above average these days. The best Pulsar augments are Freeze, Firebird, Aceta, although with Aceta I'd rather use other stuff. Next is Ricochet Camper. Probably just going to put with the rest, don't really have to explain it. I'll mention when the health threshold changes. Next is Boxer for Ricochet, another very bad Boxer augment. So far, the only good Boxer augment they've added is for Hammer because it actually, acts like it's supposed to. It hits you around, makes it impossible to hit your shots. But so far, from what I've seen with Gauss Boxer and Ricochet Boxer, it's like the impact is negligible. Next is Plasma Resonator for Ricochet. Allows you to do insane damage at really long distances, although your damage is decreased by 30%, which is like, I'll be honest, I'm a very aggressive player. I don't really care about the damage range with Ricochet because I'm always super aggressive. So in my opinion, I would never use this. I'll probably put it top of the C tier. It's nice to have full damage at like 3 times the range, but having a 30% decrease in damage just isn't worth it in my opinion. Next is Twins Pulsar, very solid Pulsar augment here. Put it in A tier. Next is Twins Camper. Not as good of a camper augment because it's twins, so I'll put it in B tier, I'd say. Next, we do have Tempest. Now, the stats for this are very, very good. Your increased damage is 35%. You do increase critical damage, but the shots are very, very slow, so it's pretty hard to use. It's definitely a good augment, but because it's so difficult to use, I'd probably put it top of B. Next is Pulsar for Hammer. It's like an average augment. Camper for Hammer, average, not that great. Boxer for Hammer, gosh, I would put it in S pre-nerf, but although it is still very good and annoying to go against, it doesn't have the damage numbers to put it in S tier, so I'll probably keep it in A tier for now. Dude, honestly, I think I'll put Accelerator in S tier for now. It's just that good. It's overpowered. It's probably going to get nerfed, but it's overpowered. Next, Excelsior for Tesla. Solid Excelsior augment. Very good. Pulsar for Tesla is also probably the best Pulsar augment we have up here, so definitely in the A tier. Next is Camper for Tesla. Now this is where the camper augments are both very good and still very average. Now it's a close range turret, and you get an extra 100% damage if you're over 50% of your health. So you only have to be over half your health, and you're doing twice the amount of damage. You do have to be a little bit more strategic, because in long range battles, with short range turrets, you're probably going to get below half health before you even get to the enemy base. But in medium to short range maps, it's pretty easy to get to the enemy base while being over 50% health. So in medium to small maps, it's a solid A tier. In long range maps, it's a B tier, especially if you get shot a lot in long range maps. So I'll probably put it bottom of the A tier. Shock Therapy for Tesla, it's kind of like the same thing. It's really only good in medium to short range maps. You can make these augments work in long range maps if the enemy team isn't that good. Like you can usually sneak into the enemy base, but Shock Therapy, solid A tier. Again, I would put Shock Therapy in like top A tier, S tier if it was effective in every single battle. But since it's not that great in long range battles, a lot of the time it goes bottom A tier. Next, Excelsior for Aceta. To be honest, I'm going to put this one in top of B tier only because, I don't know. I don't really think Excelsior for Aceta just really, I care about that. If it's the only augment you have, it's good. But at the end of the day, everyone's using Vampire Nanobots. Everyone. It's by far the best augment for Aceta if you don't care about healing. Next, Pulsar for Aceta. Solid Pulsar augment. I use it a lot on my second account because I don't really have other augments apart from Vampire Nanobots, but most of the time I'm just using Vampire. Camper for Aceta, if you're being like super aggressive, it's nice, but Aceta, you have to be so close range and you only are able to damage one person at a time. I'd probably put it like B tier or something. Now we have Shock Nanobot Injection. This one's cool because whoever you're healing gets a 25% damage boost. It's kind of annoying because you have to full heal someone the entire game, and as you're healing them, you only get them like 5% of the effective healing that you would without this augment. I remember I was healing my brother when I was trying to help him get battle points when he was using Stellarator, and he was doing probably 20% better with this augment healing him. But since you can barely heal with this augment, it's like, it's fun, but not that great. I put it top of C because you're not going to do well with it at all, but whoever you're healing is going to do well with it. Next is Vampire Nanobots. Again, this thing is insane. I'd say the only reason I don't want to put it in S tier is because the damage isn't incredible. Like, you're able to heal yourself while damaging people, which makes your longevity, especially when you're attacking someone, super high. I might switch to S tier later in the video, but for now I'll keep it in top of the A tier. Next, Pulsar for Freeze. By far one of the better Pulsar augments or best Pulsar augments in the game. Both Freeze and Firebird Pulsar are solid. Probably best augments you can use if you don't have a good exotic augment. So for that, they're definitely top 2 Pulsar augments in the game. Camper for Freeze, also very solid, over 50% health. You do 100% increased damage. Solid A tier. Now, Stable Mix for Freeze allows you to shoot for twice as long and have increased range with Freeze. It's a very solid augment, not overpowered that much. I mean, Freeze in general is one of the strongest turrets in the game, but I'll go ahead and put it in B. Next is Stable Mix for Freeze. My opinion, I would put it in S, but I'd say the average person would probably put it A. I'll put it top of the A tier. Basically just allows you to do insane amounts of critical hits far more frequently than you would without the augment. So critical hits are super OP. It's sometimes not that great if people have 50 prot against critical protection or with critical protection, but it's my favorite Freeze augment. I use it on my main account all the time. Wait, I don't even have it on my main account. I wish I have it on my main account. I do have Firebird Critical Mix, which is just as good, but I wish I had Freeze Critical Mix, to be honest. Next, Firebird Excelsior. Very solid. Again, all the Excelsior augments are above average, if not great augments. They're just not overpowered. Unless you like pair it with an Excelsior hull, then it's kind of overpowered. Next, Camper for Firebird. Again, solid camper augment, 100% increased damage, over 50% of your health. Very good in general. Okay, healing emitters for Shaft. This is hard to rank because you're not using this to do super well on attacking. You're still very strong normally using shaft healing, but the big benefit is playing with teammates or just healing your teammates who are playing team objectives like capping points, capturing flags, but it's not super overpowered. I'm going to put it bottom of the A just because I know people will complain if I put this too low. It's a very good augment, especially for team play, but in terms of being overpowered, strong, it's not that strong, but in terms of team play, it's very, very good. Next is rapid fire for shaft. In the past, it would be S tier. Now it's like top of B tier. It's still very good, but usually it takes like 4 shots to kill someone if they have double armor. And when you only get 3, then you have to wait a few seconds for that 4th shot. Sometimes it's not that consistently good. Now we have solenoid cooling for Gauss, just lets you shoot twice as fast. The cooling time is decreased, although your salvo damage is also decreased. So it's kind of good, but not that great. Dear God, I forget how many freaking augments are in this game. Hyperspeed for Gauss allows you to do more damage at longer ranges. Solid Gauss augment, not overpowered. Again, I'd rather just use super solenoids or something like that for Gauss, but it's solid. It's just, I'd say average though. Again, average means that Tanki did a good job in my opinion. Any augments here, Tanki did a good job at nerfing them. You can make the argument Pulsar is still annoying to go against a lot of the time, but usually when an augment ends up in B, that means Tanki did a good job at balancing it, because all the A tier augments means that they probably still all need a small nerf of some sort to put them in the B tier, because if every augment fit in the B tier here, I think the game would be really fun. You can probably still have a few augments in the A tier, but there should be no augments ever in the S tier, because that just means they're overpowered and they need a nerf, and they're probably going to get a nerf. But whether they get nerfed all the way to C tier, or if they get nerfed to B or A tier, is kind of what I think Tanki has some problems with doing, is just like balancing augments correctly. Bro, I wish I knew what every single augment was based on the freaking logo, but I don't, so it makes it so hard to freaking remember what these augments are. Also, there's a freaking 1,000 augments. Shredder augment for Vulcan, S tier. It's kind of annoying to use because you can't really turn your turret all that well, but if you're using a hovering hole and mouse controls, my gosh, this thing shreds. It's so freaking good. Okay, I just make sure this was Shredder. I feel like the Gauss Nemesis augment, the logo reminds me of this one. It doesn't look remotely similar, but I don't know. Bombard for Magnum. I don't really see it all that much. I see people mainly using Destroyer. Bombard, what is it? You get to shoot a lot faster, but your turret, I think, is at a fixed angle. I don't know. I'll put it in B. Magnum strong, kind of no matter what augment you use if you're good with it. Oh my gosh, Miner for Magnum? Definitely D tier. This augment is so freaking bad. You basically just get mines wherever your shot lands. So Duke. I remember using it in a video. I think I called the video like using the worst augment in Tanki Online. I highly recommend checking that video out. It's pretty funny. Berserk for Ricochet. Solid augment. Used to be by far the best Ricochet augment when it was a crystal augment. Now it's average, slightly below average, I'd say. I'm gonna probably put it in B tier. Rubberized rounds for Scorpion, just kind of average. I mean, Scorpion, it's basically Scorpion default, but you get to bounce your shots. But you can already bounce your shots a little bit with Scorpion, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, not that great. Tandem for Striker. When they first added it, it was insane, S tier. They nerfed it a little bit, it's a solid B tier now. There's better Striker augments, especially like Vacuum or something. Uranium, currently Uranium right now, S tier, by far. Increased damage by like 80% or 100% per shot. It's like Camper without the negatives, apart from a slow shot, but it's so freaking annoying to go against. Because even if you have 50 prot against Striker, you still get like 2 shot, which is really frustrating to go against. Rubberized rounds for Smokey, below average. I mean, Smokey has so many good augments. Rubberized rounds is just like average, not that great. Sorted ammunition for Smokey, very solid, but better augments for Smokey. I mean, every 4th shot is a critical shot. It is good. I think I'll put it top of B tier actually. Now we have super solenoids, probably my favorite augment to use on Gauss, just because you get an additional 50% charge shot damage, so you can one-shot basically anyone with Crisis or Booster. Unless they have 50 prot, then sometimes it's 2 shots, but definitely solid top of A tier. The only downside is it takes longer to reload your charge shot, but that's fine in my opinion. Next we have Vacuum for Magnum. Still very solid. They nerfed it a lot from when it came out, but I'd say still above average, good augment. And next we have shotgun rounds for Railgun. I remember when the augment first came out, I was like, oh wow, what a cool idea. You do more damage up close, but then you actually use it in game. Very mid for Railgun. Hyperspeed for Railgun, very, very good on long range maps, medium and small range maps. It's just not that great. For that reason, it's probably going to go in B. Hyperspeed just gives you more damage at longer ranges. Next, we have hyperspace rounds. I'm pretty sure hyperspace rounds just allows you to do more damage if you shoot through people. It's very situational. I just don't think it's that efficient unless you are very good at shooting through people. or through multiple people. Next is Death Herald Compensator. Basically, you kill someone with Railgun, you can shoot instantly after. It's solid. I mean, it doesn't really give you any boost, so it's very situational. Like, it can be cool to get clips off, but apart from getting fun clips, honestly, below average in my opinion. Here's Large Caliber for Railgun, 50% damage increase, but slower charge rate. It's average. It's not like OP. You can one-shot people a lot of the time, but most of the time people have Railgun protection these days. Next is the Spear Augment for Scorpion. Probably one of the best augments for Scorpion. Basically allows your shots to go really fast across the map, so your charge shot is actually pretty efficient, and the range isn't that bad for it. I'd put it, since it's the best Scorpion augment in my opinion, I'd put it bottom of A tier. Although Scorpion right now is kind of underused, not many people use it, I'd say. Just overall doesn't really have any OP augments for it, so I don't really see many people using Scorpion. Swarm for Scorpion used to be best in the game. They nerfed it a lot to where the rockets are kind of dumb. I put it in B tier, middle of the B tier, I'd say. Allows you to shoot like 20 rockets at someone, but the rockets are very slow. They don't really move all that easily, so you'll end up missing a lot of your rockets half the time. Now you have Tornado for Scorpion. I'd say it's the same problem as Swarm. The rockets are more long range, but they're also still pretty dumb. Probably B tier there. All right, on to Thunder augments. Holy crap. Holy crap, there's so many freaking augments in this game. I think I'm actually down to like 25 left, but holy crap. There's like over 100 augments in this game, at least in Legendary tier. I don't know how many exotic augments are in the game right now, because after like a month, Tanki will just change them to legendary. But oh my gosh, what augment even is this? This is the Anvil Shells. I'm pretty sure Anvil Shells was garbage. I'm not sure if they buffed it. I'm pretty sure they buffed it to where it's not absolute dog anymore, but your damage range is really bad, but your regular damage and critical damage is increased. Splash radius increased. Man, I thought at one point this was the worst exotic. I know I definitely made a video on this augment calling it the worst exotic augment in all of Tanki Online, but I do know they buffed it since I made that video. I just forget if they buffed it to where it's actually good now, if they just buffed it to where it's not awful. I'm gonna put it top of the sea just because I don't remember at all, and I'm definitely not playing with it. Now we have Healing for Thunder, probably one of the weakest healing augments, although there's only like 3 or 4 in the game. It's the same thing with Shaft. It's like you're not really using it to be super strong, you're using it to be an ally to your team. I'll put it bottom of the B tier, it's average. Next is Adaptive Reload. Man, this is like the only augment I have on my accounts that aren't my legend account or my main account. It's very good. They definitely nerfed it. It used to be, if you were shooting one guy, you could get your shot probably 20% faster than it is now. Now it's not as good, but it's still a very solid augment. Again, not above special, but again, getting augments in the B tier isn't bad. B just means they're very solid, but they're not great and they're not overpowered. They're very solid, you can do well with them. All the augments in B tier are good. Like if you use this in a game, you're gonna do well. All the B augments. A tier, use it in a game, you're gonna do well above average. And then S tier, you're gonna do well basically every single game, no matter what. Next is Vacuum for Thunder. Dude, a lot of these augments, like when they were first added, they were so freaking good, but since then have been nerfed a lot. Vacuum, I'd say the biggest problem is, I'll be honest, most maps you get aren't that great for Vacuum Thunder because you have to be able to get splash damage. A lot of the time with the speed at which Thunder shoots, and a lot of the maps aren't great for getting to the enemy base to strategically maneuver yourself to get good splash damage shots. It's still good, I think. It just is really dependable on your situation and what battle you're in. I'm going to probably put it in B tier. It's still good, but I don't know. It's just confusing now. It used to be by far the best augment in the game because it was pretty easy to use and it had a lot better stats, but now since they nerfed it, it's harder to use, more situational, not as good. Now we're on Hyperspeed for Thunder. Again, lets you do more damage at longer ranges. I'd say it's probably slightly, it's not that great, I'll be honest. Because I am a fan of medium and short range maps, and it's just below average on short range and medium range maps. It's good on long range maps, but the projectile is not super duper fast, so you still do miss a lot of your shots at long range with Thunder. Next is Strict Ammunition Load. You get a guaranteed critical shot after every 3 shots. Shooting 3 shots at Thunder should usually kill someone, so that 3rd shot is usually going to kill them regardless, so getting a critical shot there isn't super necessary. If you're smart with the augment, you can pre-fire your shots, so you're on your critical shot by the time you get with people, but shooting 2 shots on spawn with Thunder over and over and over gets really repetitive. It's probably a B augment, but it's not fun to use, so I'm going to put it in the C tier in my opinion. Below average, not that great. Large Caliber for Vulcan, probably one of the better Vulcan augments. I'd say bottom A tier. It's very strong when people use it. I don't see too many people using it all that often though. Very good augment though. gives you an additional 140% damage. The only big difference is it takes longer to start shooting. That's kind of about it. Your shots, I think, are maybe a little bit slower. Next is Explosive Band for Vulcan. The nice thing about this augment is there's no negative drawbacks to it. You get splash damage on Vulcan, which is super nice when you're shooting into a crowd of people. It's a solid augment. You can do well with it. Then lastly, rubberized rounds. When they first added it, it was very good. Now, mediocre in my opinion. Not really the greatest. All right, now we're to the bulk of the Striker augments. And again, Striker has some of the best augments in the game, especially with like uranium right there. This one is the Meteor augment. It gives you an additional 25% damage, and it basically removes your splash damage. Splash damage on Striker is super, super nice, but sometimes 25% damage is really good. It's a solid A augment. It's not super overpowered, but very good still. Then we go to Vacuum. Vacuum, if Jumper is using it, S tier. They've nerfed it a lot, so I'd probably put it into the A tier, and it's very, very hard to use, but still so strong. I mean, Vacuum, if you get the perfect distance shot, 230% increased damage. You one-shot everyone, even if they have 50 prot, even if they have Defender. The only downside is you direct hit someone, 30% decreased damage. You have to be getting your shots to do splash damage. But again, this is like a fully amazing augment if you're the best in the game with it. Because if you're able to determine where the shot is and get splash damage shots very easily, oh my gosh, so good. I mean, you can ask Jumper. He grinded out Phoenix with Striker by using this augment because he was able to go off every single game. The reason I'm not putting it in S tier is because you have to be Jumper for it to be an S tier. For the average person, it's a very hard augment to use. Next, we have Faust. Dude, another one. When it was first added S tier, now it's solid 8. Bottom A tier. I'd put it top B tier. They nerfed it really hard. You used to be able to shoot it like insanely fast. Charge shot, normal shot, doesn't matter. They nerfed its range to where it's only really good on medium and short range maps now. Not great on long range maps, but it's a definitely good augment. You're going to do well if you use it. Now we have Hydra. A tier augment. You get freaking 20 rockets when you get your charge shot. Sure, it takes a little bit longer to get your charge shot, but 20 rockets. The second you're done killing that first guy, bam, you switch on to another guy. Because it doesn't have other like automated aiming to where the rockets will go you where you want. Once you lock onto someone, 20 rockets shoot out. You can aim the rockets wherever you want to aim them. It makes it like super beneficial to get multi-kills. So definitely a good A augment. Above average, great augment. Hyperspeed rounds for Smokey. I'd probably have the same complaint I have for Hyperspeed Thunder is the shot isn't that fast. So although it does a lot more damage at long ranges, you're still missing a lot of your shots. If the person's not moving, yeah, you're gonna kill them easily. But when they're running around, you have to shoot them from like over 100 freaking meters to do the increased damage. It's like you're not really hitting that many shots. Maybe call it a skill issue, but I don't think it's that good anymore. Explosive rounds for Smokey, solid A tier augment. I mean, you get really good splash damage with Smokey, which you don't really expect from Smokey, and your critical damage is increased. Very solid augment. Smokey, you're shooting so fast, so getting splash damage like Thunder makes it like Thunder 2.0 effectively right there. Auto cannon. I'm putting this in A tier just because it's fun. It's fun shooting basically fully auto with Smokey. The damage is decreased, but you're doing effectively the same damage per second because you're shooting so fast. So definitely A tier augment. You could probably put it in B, probably a B augment. I'm going to put it bottom of A just because I enjoy using it so much. Ricochet Helios. Dude, problem is if someone has protection against you, instantly this augment is garbage. If they don't have protection, very good augment. You can one burst basically anyone. But used to be A tier. You could one burst people even if they had protection. Then they nerfed it a little bit, probably put in A tier, then they nerfed it again, now it's B tier. It's still very solid, especially if people don't have protection against you, but it falls off so hard if someone has protection, which is the big problem. But if they don't have protection, solid augment in general. Now on to Twins augments, 2 more here. Plasmatron, initial projectile speed 50% increase, standard damage 250%. Oh yeah, this is the augment where you shoot really slow, like pew, pew, pew. But you do like an insane amount more damage per shot, and the range is really good. I'd probably put it A tier. I haven't used it in a while just because I don't use Twins really ever anymore. Twins is another turret people just never use, but I remember when they first added it and I made a video on it. I was like 3-4 shotting people with Twins. I'm not sure how badly they nerfed it, but from what I remember, I'd put it in A tier. I'm not sure if it's like incredibly nerfed and I just don't realize, but A tier there. Plasma turbo accelerators basically lets you shoot extremely fast with Twins. The range is decreased, but still solid. Oh gosh. I'd probably put it B tier. When they first added it, definitely top A tier, but now they nerfed it a little bit. Or I guess the range is actually good on it, so yeah, I'd probably be towards the top of the B tier. Hammer augments, oh my gosh. There's this many freaking hammer augments in the game. Dude, after they did the hammer impact force buff, every hammer augment just seems really, really good now. So we'll see where I put these. I forget what these all are. Like, that's just my only problem with the logos being everything. It's like, this one, is this a healing augment for hammer? Obviously not. What the heck hammer augment even is this? There's like a healing plus sign there. Adaptive reload. That's adaptive reload? Okay, this used to be a crystal augment. It's solid. I mean, hammer is a solid turret in general. A lot of people have protection against it right now. Definitely putting it in solid. This is hunter duplet, so it's normal duplet, but increased range. Solid augment. You'll do well with it. Next is heavy slugger. Allows you to do really far damage shots with hammer. I don't know. Again, hammer's just good in general. I'd say, though, I'd put it in C tier. Next is, what is that? Assault rounds? I think it's assault. Okay, assault magazine. My gosh, is it annoying to go against. It's just as annoying as boxer, I'd say. Basically, it's the one where you do pow, 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 reload, pow, pow, pow. Like you can shoot your 3 shots really fast. When they first added it, S tier. Now, I'd probably put it bottom of A tier. It has really bad range, but for medium and short range maps, really good. But everyone right now has hammer protection. So all the hammer augments, although they're very, very good, everyone has hammer protection. So if you were factoring people using protection, I'd probably put it lower, but in general, very solid augment. Next is large caliber pellets for hammer. Each shot gives you like 60-70% more damage, but it takes you forever to reload. I haven't used this augment in so long. Is it good? I'm gonna put it in B just because I've never used this augment in a long time. Or in general, I don't even know if I've used it before. I mean, I imagine I have. Large caliber, 70% increased damage. That's insane. 3 shots though takes twice as long to reload. I mean, statistically it's good, but I just don't remember using it that much. Next is revolver for hammer. Definitely A tier. You get 6 shots per clip. You get to reload very fast. Every 3rd shot's a critical shot. Again, statistic wise, very good. Used to be better, but they nerfed it a little bit. So it's gonna go in A tier, which means it's great augment still. Now where's hammer boxer? Are we missing hammer boxer? We must be mixing. Oh no, I already ranked it. Okay, I'm gonna put it in S tier just because it's so obnoxious to go against. I'm putting that up. I'll probably put nah, vampire nanobots isn't OP though. It's just very strong. I think we'll keep that there for now. Next we're on the blunderbuss, probably the worst hammer augment that's legendary, only because the range isn't that great and you only get 1 shot. And although it's a critical shot, it's like below average, I'd say. It's still good, but you're not going to do well with it every game. All right, now we have electro turret for Tesla. I haven't seen anyone use this in forever. Is it the one that just lets you shoot your ball really far? I thought that was a freaking crystal augment. Yeah, it lets you shoot your ball really far, and the ball does 25% increased damage. I mean, it's kind of hard to hit your shot with the ball still, because the projectile is like thunder, but half the speed. It's like thunder, but actually like 20% of the speed, so a 5th of the speed. See, it's not that great. Lastly, we have support nanobots for Aceta. Or I guess sustainable nanobots. Gives you increased range when healing, allows you to heal for twice as long. But again, there's not really any effect. I mean, it's a healing augment, right? Not gonna be great for attacking, but again, gonna be good for the team. So there you guys go, ranking every legendary augment in the game. It's crazy how many augments there are now. And Tanki's gonna keep adding more. And again, there's like probably 20 exotic augments. Let me check. How many exotic augments are there? You have all the Phoenix augments, Excelsior augments. They're now legendaries because, yeah, the only exotic augments really in the game are newer augments that get put in exotic tier for like a month or 2, and then they're put into the legendary tier for normal containers. But yeah, that's the tier list. Hopefully this video wasn't too long for you guys. It's been fun to make. I mean, it was nice going through all the augments again. And then if you know you're looking for which augments you have that might be good, that could be fun. So definitely don't forget to use credit tag Taspens if you're going to buy anything in the shop for Black Friday coming up. I'll see you guys in a future video. Peace out, everybody.